Curling now enters the Sports Weekend spotlight.
Hi again, curling fans. We have a drama to get to, Colleen.
Isn't this the best time of the week where it's moving day drama and we are trying to calculate who's in, who's out, who might be on, just on the bubble, in the bubble, right?
On the bubble, in the bubble. That's really good, Colleen. Okay, you got a bunch of boards behind you. I don't know what you've written on them tonight. But you've been crunching the numbers. You've been looking at the permutations. What an afternoon of curling. What a morning of curling. I mean, Northwest Territories, Carrie Galusha, 89%. The giant killers at the Scotties, knocking off Rachel Homan. What did you like?
She was on fire. That's what I liked. And I liked this amazing confidence against a giant like Rachel Homan for the Northwest Territories under that kind of pressure. Right. To keep delivering shots was absolutely amazing. And she's right in the thick of the race. As you can see, at 3-3, Homan drops to 5-1. And let's not forget about that mega matchup tomorrow you and I were talking about, and that's Canada's Einerson against Homan. So huge. Whether Homan will drop to 2, Laura Walker at 2 losses, suddenly Peterson's still in the race. I mean, it's just fascinating to see what's going on. And the other side.
Right. Is a mess. It's an absolutely messy house. My mother would be so disappointed. So can we bring up the board? God bless you, Colleen, for your board.
You're drawing my own. I love mine.
Yeah, I love yours too. But I mean, look at Pool B. Who would have ever predicted Quebec and Saskatchewan right there?
No kidding. And Sherry Anderson, what a huge win for her to stay at 2 losses. And I love how Sherry, 2-time world senior champ, is playing in this. She's so feisty. You see her passion. She calmly drew for her 2 points against Team Fleury.
Hold on, I'm going to jump in. I don't think it was super calm. There was a lot of panic. Nancy Martin running out of the house. But let's get to the dramatic part of it. I know curling fans are clamoring about this right now. Earlier in the game, Chelsea Carey with a shot, misses it on the inside. It rolls out. There's kind of some scrambling in the house. Saskatchewan steals 2. I don't know if it was 2, though.
Agreed.
Rocks kicked away very quickly. We're going to look at it, and then we're going to you for reaction.
And this is the Chelsea Carey. This is the 3rd consecutive shot in this spot, each replacing each other. So for Chelsea, should know the line. She's thrown this on her first.
Got it by that one. Got it by this one.
Needs to stick in the 4.
And will spill too far. Look at that. So steal of 2 for Anderson. And the lead.
2 red. 2 red.
Wow.
You heard that? 2 red? Like that.
2 red. So the rocks are kicked out of there in a hurry. It looked like Selena was on board with moving the rocks out of there. But Colleen, is that one of those moments where maybe there's some frustration and you get caught up in the moment and you're just kicking the rocks out of there? Or what are you seeing play out in that moment?
Oh, I think it's a measurement all day when it's that close. I mean, our human eyes are a little bit fallible. What is that old saying for a carpenter? Cut once, measure twice. Same is true in curling. Don't just go twice. Go 3 times around just to make sure.
Or 8 times like they did, yeah.
Huge point. And again, I've just seen rings are off. When you're looking at circles and you're also, the rock is a circle, it's often really hard to totally judge it accurately. I mean, sometimes I've had embarrassing measures where it just swings by your rock and the other going, whoops, old eyes decided to measure.
Or Colleen kicking those rocks out of there quicker than you should.
Yes. Absolutely. So that's sort of one of those game changers. You could see that Chelsea had that look of, huh?
Uh-huh.
And somebody said 2 red. So it sounded like there was a little confusion on that. Really a turning point.
And it was a 1 point Saskatchewan win. How big will that point loom as we go on the rest of the week? I did want to make a quick point before we get to Lisa Weagle and the Weagle tick and the dog and all of the excitement playing out at the Scotties for Lisa Weagle in Manitoba colors. But Northwest Territories, I want to go back to them really quickly, Colleen. 2 big games left. They play Yukon tonight, and then they play Peterson tomorrow. They control their own destiny for the championship pool. Wouldn't that be something, Galusha?
They control so many teams control their destiny. Again, back to my super graphics.
I can't see it.
Northwest Territory and Peterson. Manitoba's got New Brunswick and Nunavut. The way New Brunswick's playing, New Brunswick's got Manitoba and Quebec tomorrow. Little like Galusha. Will they try to be giant killers in this?
Love it. Okay, so listen. Lisa Weagle out there with Team Jones. And it seems like they're having a ton of fun from our perspective. Of course, Jennifer Jones getting her 153rd win. And I mean, look at Lisa Weagle. It's like she's been along for all 153 wins, Colleen.
Yes, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're just having a blast. But of course, we know Lisa for her great sweeping and prowess on the ice, and she joins us now. To you, Lisa. We want to set it up, though, because the Weagle kick is a thing. Let's look at some of your best right now.
Yep. Hard. Whoa. Yep. Gotta go.
Just jumped on them a hair. Did not touch.
Oh, could not have been more of a perfect tick.
I just want to hit it a little bit more.
Great shot by Lisa again.
Beautiful shot.
It's ridiculous how good those are.
Ben looked like he was under a lot of pressure throwing that tick shot because this team is used to it being made all the time. And they're used to seeing it twice.
Whoa! Hard reach! Hard, get it in. Hard reach! Go!
Look at that.
How do you like that? Yeah.
Lisa's impressed.
I like that. The polite Lisa.
Everybody wants to be Lisa Weagle. How are you, Lisa? How's this experience been? Like we said, in the Manitoba colors, and you're coming off a win just now.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I don't know why you guys put Ben's shot in there. I thought this was my highlight reel. But
it is your highlight reel. We like the fact that you give your seal of approval. Like, yes, that is how it's done. Taught everybody so well. Although, truth be told, and I know Lisa knows this, it was Jeff Stout and Steve Gould who kind of brought up, but you just make it look like it's the most routine shot in the world. So now every skip on the planet's calling tick like Lisa, and no one ticks like Lisa.
It is a shot. I met Steve a few years ago, and yeah, we had a glass of wine together, and just kind of said he's done with it, and I can have it now. But it was definitely his shot first.
No, you make it the best though. Okay, let's talk about your dog. What's it like having your dog in the stands? Let's bring on Trooper.
It's really funny. I think I like just to see him and look up, and he's got this little grin on his face, looks super cute. It just kind of gives me a bit of a lighter moment. There he is, sitting beside my sister. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of cute. I'm really missing seeing, there he is. My family and my friends, usually there's like a big crowd and people cheering, and so it's a really different vibe in there. I kind of was joking that it feels a bit like you're curling in a library. So it is nice just to look out and be able to see some faces in the crowd, even if we can't hear anyone.
Oh, and a corgi at that. I love that description, don't you, Dev?
I'm loving that you want to know about the dog. I want to know about how Lisa's feeling on the ice out there.
Okay. Go ahead.
That was a really good game. I thought I felt like we were building some momentum. We were having a lot of fun out there. We were trying to create our own energy. It's tough ice to be perfect on, but I think we're really figuring it out and doing a good job of making enough shots to get the job done.
Okay, now back to the dogs, okay? Because Lisa's dog Trooper ran into a skunk and had a skunk incident one day. And we were trying to say, well, go to the dog. 2 weeks later or so, my dog runs into a skunk. It's 11 o'clock. I phone Lisa and I'm there. What do I do? And you said, what did you say? You had some sort of skunk shampoo.
Skunk shampoo, yeah. There had been an issue in our neighborhood, so we already had some. But yeah, it was a couple weeks before the smell went away. And it's not a smell you can ever forget.
No. Anyhow, I digress. Okay, Lisa, I'm going to show you my amazing graphics that Devin hates. You guys have New Brunswick and Nunavut. Oh, you can't really see that, but the thought that counts, Lisa. Do you like that finish for you?
Yeah, I mean, we're in a situation where we pretty much have to win every game here on out. So it doesn't really matter who it is at this point. It's just focusing on the next game and making our shots. And life's pretty simple. That's basically all we have to do.
I'm going to jump in. Lisa, you're with this new team. You've had all the Zoom calls. You had all the time in the fall, and you guys can do everything you absolutely want to do to feel chemistry. But at a Scotties, on the ice is a different thing. Can you walk me through what that's been like and what you've learned over these first few games?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You wouldn't normally be doing some of the things we're doing, like playing for, one of the first times with your team at a Scotties. Usually we would have probably played 60 games by now in the season. So it is learning, but I think we've done such a great job of communicating with each other. Everyone's been really open and really honest, and we just all feel like we have each other's back. So it really does feel like a true team out there, and we're having fun. I'm having so much fun. I'm really enjoying being out there, and just having a great time with the new team.
And now you're on that curling show. So how much fun is that? Okay, Lisa, I've got another graphic just to drive Devin crazy. Pool B, look at that.
Don't you have someone to do this for you, Colleen?
No, this is way more fun to do it like this, don't you?
We absolutely do. We have beautiful graphics that we can look at, but Colleen spends too long before every show on these, but she's doing a great job.
I love it. But honestly, when you look, does it not make you go, wow, look, we're all still alive?
Other way, Colleen.
Honestly, I haven't really spent a ton of time looking at it. I think that it's still really early. There's a lot of teams here. Anything can happen at the Scotties. I think anything can happen in a COVID Scotties. So our job is pretty simple. Like I said, we just got to go out there and win our games.
Yeah. Although it's moving day tomorrow, right? Some teams don't move on after tomorrow, Lisa. Just fact. But Trooper will be there. Does Trooper stay for the Brier?
I think he's there the whole time. I think if you're in the bubble.
Then what happens for you? Because you're in mixed dubs with Epping?
Yeah, so I'll go home for about 2 weeks, and then I come back in, go through all the protocols again, and back for mixed doubles with John.
Lisa, can you give us a little bit of insight on what you guys are doing in between games? I think there was all the negative tests. Everybody got the clear. I think yesterday 105 negative tests. Does it change the way you guys are able to move in the bubble and meet as a team now?
Not really. We still are kind of under these protocols and having to be careful. So we spend a little bit of time as a team, but for the most part, doing more alone time than we normally would. This morning, I went and took a walk in the parking lot. We're allowed to kind of in a tank. You know how they just do like that same little loop? So we did that a few times in the parking lot. We've been playing a little Yahtzee. We've been ordering some nice takeout dinners. So we're definitely making the most of it.
I saw that Gushue had posted an Instagram thing about what are the 8 things you want to have in the bubble. So what were maybe not 8, but what did you pack?
A milk frother so I could make some lattes.
Ooh. I thought you were joking.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. You can get coffee. I've got like a really good little kitchen setup. I have like a blender, and I'm able to.
What's this art? Is that the hotel art behind you? Is that
it is, yeah. I have a little living room area. I've got a yoga mat set up, so I feel pretty good here. Like I feel like I planned really well for quarantine life, and I'm not having a hard time with it.
Colleen, do you have any more dog questions for Lisa?
Will your dog be jealous of the other virtual dog that's at the rink when you go home? Do you think his real nose will be out of joint?
No, I don't think he cares. I think he's living his best life right now at home with Robin. So he's fine. Yeah.
Hi, Robin.
Yes. Hi to Robin and to your family, Lisa, and hello to you.
Luck.
Great to see you. Thanks for coming on the show. And of course, good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks for having me. Nice to see you guys in your matching outfits.
We did call each other.
Lisa, wait. I didn't have this on originally, and then I saw that outfit, and I'm like, hang on, I think I got this turtleneck. I changed.
Oh.
I know too much information.
Always an adventure, Lisa, as you know.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Take care. Woo. Okay, cool. So we do the fan segment every night, and I want to set this up because we're now moving on to the Newfoundland and Labrador part of the show. And so I've got to tell you, I hiked it down to the CBC on Front Street here today, and I had mail, if you can believe it. I had mail from Newfoundland and Labrador today.
Like snail mail.
Snail mail sent to me, addressed to me, that had been sitting there for weeks.
Wow.
And it turns out that earlier today, I reached out to Jill Bennett, a great curling fan that I met in 2017 in St. John's at the Briar. Mm-hmm. Well, Jill had sent me chocolate from Newfoundland and Labrador for Christmas.
Is that the Newfoundland chocolate?
That's the Newfoundland chocolate. And I got it today, hours after I messaged her to check in if she was coming on the show.
Coincidence.
Can you believe it?
No.
So Jill is in Newfoundland and Labrador, a great curling fan, and now on that curling show. Hi, Jill. It's great to see you. I think we can hear you, Jill.
It has to be on. She's like me. She's like me, isn't she?
If this isn't 2020, with your mute on, so we're going to get Jill.
Yeah. She's figuring it out. That Newfoundland chocolate.
Yep.
So, I'm a chocolataholic in this now. And that Newfoundland chocolate to me is just so good.
It's the best.
Yeah. Now we can move on and bring her back while she's figuring that out.
I think she's looking at it. There's Jill. Will tell you that on your screen. There's a mute button on the bottom left that you'll be looking at. So we'll work that out. If this isn't a 2020 moment and 2021.
Yeah. And actually, if people only knew the number of times Devin does this up to me, you're on mute, and I go. The little buttons. So I wonder
maybe Jill can try signing on with maybe a phone or a different device and see if we can get her on and get her sound, because it will be great to talk to her if we can get her into the show. Because like I said, I met Jill and her family members call at Mile 1 Center in downtown St. John's. I'll never forget it. Her mom said, if Gushue was playing tiddlywinks in an arena, we would sell out the arena as well. So we know how much they love curling in Newfoundland and Labrador. And today, of course, marks 15 years. Where does time go? That Gushue and the boys won Olympic gold in Turin. Where were you, Colleen, 15 years ago on this day?
Well, I was in Torino and I saw most of his games, but I'll tell you where they put curling there. It was a smallish arena because they weren't so sure how would curling go down there in Italy. Turned out the Italians fell in love with curling because it reminded them of bocce. They kind of got into the strategy quickly. So for the championship gold medal game, for both the men's and the women's, they couldn't accommodate any more fans. So it was just an absolute sellout, obviously. So
and we should point out, and I know Gushue and the team don't really like to talk about this, but there was a massive upset by Team Italy defeating Gushue during those Olympics, and they were going crazy. The noise was deafening when they beat the Gushue rink. That team had to battle that entire week. They defeated the United States in the final round robin game, then defeated them in the semifinal to advance to the championship against Finland on this day. Who will ever forget 6 in the 6th? Remember that?
Jeepers, your memory's incredible. I'm going to say I don't remember that part. I do remember seeing Mark and Brad in Port Hawkesbury. That would have been 2005, just before the Olympic trials that were held in Halifax. And they were giddy, I think, is that the right word? With excitement over the fact that they had made a lineup change to bring Russ Howard in.
Absolutely.
And, I'll never forget also at the Olympic trials, a lot of people thought they were still going to finish dead last at the Olympic trials in Halifax. And
then they went on to a 8-1 record and got the bye.
I can't wait to see the video.
We have a video. We have a couple of beautiful montages, but I think Jill is back. Can we hear Jill? It looks like she's trying to sign in here. Now we have the screen you had the other night.
I know.
Producer Sophie, I think we should look at this montage, or maybe not. Jill, can we hear you? Can you hear us, Jill?
Can you hear me?
Oh, we do hear you.
You hear me now?
We do hear you. Welcome.
Sorry about that, guys.
No, it's great to see you. We're doing it live, Jill, as you know, like we say. How are you? It's great to see you, and you must just be loving the curling.
Oh, I am loving the curling. How can you not love the curling? By the way, I just want to say what an honor it is to be on the show with you guys. Colleen, I think I've seen at least 5 of your 6 victories during the Scotties.
Nice.
And it's just been a real treasure and a pleasure to be on this, even with that rough start.
You're so nice. Listen, no pressure, but I can't wait for you to send me the Newfoundland chocolate as well. Okay.
There you go. It'll be in the mail.
Not to worry, we can buy it in Nova Scotia, and I certainly buy my share. Listen, what's your favorite Gushue moment?
Oh well, my favorite Gushue moment was when he won the Brier in 2017 here, because I was down right behind the sheet, and it was just amazing to be there and to be in the stands and feel the energy in the stands. And when he won and everybody started high-fiving each other and clapping and hugging each other, perfect strangers in the stands, and it was just incredible.
Jill,
to see him make that shot with where he just did the little tick in the 6, I think it was. Incredible. Just because I was right directly behind the sheet. And amazing moment.
Jill, you and I have connected now for a number of years, and you have been able to create sort of a curling family. You have these connections all across Canada and even into the United States now. Can you tell me how much this game has meant to you and your family, and has brought you together in a way you could have never imagined?
Oh my heavens. Now that's a good question, Devin. It's just been amazing. As you said, I've met people from all over the place. I've become really good friends with people. I've gone out to supper with people. I've sent presents back and forth, but it's also been a real personal thing for me too, because I went through a great period of sickness with my husband. And curling really made a huge difference in helping me get through all of that. And it's just been my lifeline for 35 years that I've been watching the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you sum up how a lot of fans feel too, that it's sort of the curling family glue that sometimes holds us together when we need it the very most.
Absolutely. It's been a godsend for me, I tell you.
Yeah.
Last question for you, Jill. Of course, 15 years ago today, the golden moment. And coming up right after this, we're going to have Brad and Mark on. And we're also going to have a montage of the boys arriving at the airport and the parties that played out all across the province when they won. Where were you? What do you recall about this day 15 years ago?
Oh my heavens. So I was home. I wasn't out in all the celebrations because I was a mom to a 1-year-old. So I think, and a demanding 1-year-old at that. So I think I was just trying to keep in my bedroom and watch the game without being interrupted too much. But I tell you, the province really celebrated it. We had some curling here in 2004, 2005. With the Grand Slams, so there was a lot of energy in this province anyway because of curling. And then with Gushue's win, He's had streets named after him. He's got a park named after him. He's got a highway. I don't know what else. Goodness knows what else he has. But it was quite a celebration before and after. And people are very proud of him down here, and always will be.
Mm-hmm. Jill, it's wonderful to see you, and the great curling fans of Newfoundland and Labrador, as you know, hold a special place in my heart. So thank you for doing this tonight.
And glad you got off mute.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Thanks so much, guys. It's a real pleasure to speak to both of you.
Nice.
Sure, Jill. Thank you. Beautiful, just how much it means. And I think let's get right into this montage because we're going to go to Brad and Mark, and I hope they're watching this right now. Let's take a look. 15 years ago, what a magical run it was for Brad and the boys.
He started here, and he started when he was my age, and now he's going to the Olympics, so I might have a shot.
He encourages people from Newfoundland to play curling.
Hope he wins gold. It's pretty deadly that a Newfoundlander actually got that far.
He was very focused even at a very young age and had an ambition of becoming an Olympian.
No matter what he does, I'm going to be really proud of him anyway.
There's no concentration going on today. None.
It's so great to see a Newfoundland team go this far. I can't believe it.
Put it into words how emotional and how happy and proud we are of him.
Mom, answer the phone. Maureen, if you're listening, Brad's trying to get through. Mom, put Mom on. Hi. Thank you, we did it. My heart hasn't stopped racing since he threw his last rock, and I knew when he missed that last one, it was over, and I couldn't compose myself, but I can't know.
Well, look, you guys from the Rock threw them beautifully today. I know you just talked to your mom. Just a bit of that conversation, what it entailed.
Sad. I feel like it's so good.
No, listen, you're doing great.
No, she was proud, and I'm proud of the guys, and it was a tough week, but we did it.
Well, look, you guys from the Rock threw them beautifully today. You're the farthest thing in the world from a sook. Way to go, huh?
Thanks. I feel like winning already.
Was it me or was that a show? Wow.
Pretty incredible, guys. What comes up, Brad and Mark, when you watch that?
More tears. To be quite honest, that's the third or fourth time I've seen that today, or at least the interview part with Bruce, and I still feel up. Like I fill up when I see that. Like I could still feel those emotions of being in that interview, and I know what I was going through, and I still get emotional. And seeing the responses to that interview today on social media, everybody kind of gets the same thing. My sister said it, my mother obviously, and my wife. The tears come back from that moment. It was pretty special.
Mark?
So some of those things are so cool to see over again. Like you forget about all those, like the moment when you walk in, or not forget, but you forget about everything that was going on because there was so much. And then, like, I was looking at my face when we came in through the doors out of the in the airport, and I just went, wow, like looking around of all the people that were there, because I don't think we expected it as well. So yeah, it's been quite a day. Like Brad said, social media response has been amazing, and just getting to relive it again has been really cool.
Where do you both keep your gold medals?
I'd have to ask my wife. I honestly, I have no idea where it is right now. I'm sure it's, it's somewhere in the house. She has it taken care of. She's kind of the one that makes sure it's where it should be. But I haven't had to bring it out really in a year since this whole pandemic started. I haven't had the opportunity to share it.
Look at that. You guys, you and I have had so many conversations over the years about how young you guys were, and of course led by Russ. There's Mike Adam and Jamie Korab. We better give them a shout out. They don't want to be left out of this party either. But we've talked about the fact that you were so young and on top of the world. Maybe just take us back to that, Mark, being that young and winning it all. You dreamed of that. And I think you guys said the plan was always 2010. You shortcutted it 4 years.
Yeah, I think, a number of opportunities that we gave ourselves, and obviously a lot of luck as well, going into an Olympic trials with a field with, Randy Furby and Kevin and Glenn and Jeff, obviously. We obviously weren't anywhere near a favorite, and kind of everything aligned perfectly for us in that moment. And then obviously through the Olympics, it was kind of the perfect storm of everything going right for us.
So nice. We have another video montage to show this, just as good as the Olympic one. We love when we get to go deep into our CBC archives, but here's some of the Brier highlights to relive.
It's getting frosty. Full 8 is what you need. Full 8 is what you need to become the Canadian curling champions. Need the button, fellas. Get off, boys. Need the button, fellas. Holding's right there, and it is 2 for Gushue. With his final stone, the arms go up, and Gushue is good again. Congratulations to Brad Gushue. Congratulations, Newfoundland and Labrador, the 2020 Tim Hortons Brier champions.
Wow, amazing again. Okay, so compare the Olympic win with winning at home, Mark, the Brier.
Oh, so we're at 2 completely different stages of our careers. I think, after the Olympics, we're probably thinking we were going to win a Brier a lot sooner. So the emotions of waiting 11 years to win a Brier was certainly overflowing, and then to do it in St. John's and at mile 1, all of that stuff kind of made it even that much better. It's really hard to compare the two, because I think we were a little naive and thinking we were probably going to win it a little bit sooner.
Brad, that was incredibly emotional for so many reasons. That entire journey throughout that week, the ups and downs, and then the party in the patch on a Sunday night, crowd surfing with the tankard. Maybe just go through all of that and what that meant to you. It was well worth the wait, obviously.
Yeah, certainly. It was an emotional roller coaster, and it really started the year before. Losing the final. I was dealing with an injury, wasn't even sure I was going to get a chance to play the Brier. And then getting there, and we struggled early in the week. I was, having some discomfort in the early part, and kind of rolled through it, and you could see as the week went on, we started to build our stride and started to feel really comfortable, and got off to a great start in the final, and then really just kind of held on for dear life as the game got on and the pressure got more and more. And Jill brought up a great point. There's a lot of Newfoundlanders that put that right up there with the Olympic win, just because of everything we went through, the fact that it was here in St. John's, the way that whole Briar really electrified the community, and not just us winning, but that whole week. The city of St. John's was just an incredible place to be, and there was so much fun around the city. And then to cap it off with us winning, it was a pretty special week.
Okay. Now, Mark, you're going from the excitement of last year's win and the win in St. John's to the Briar bubble in Calgary with no fans and quiet. And Lisa Weagle just described it as sort of being like in a library. So what kind of an adjustment is that? Because often the crowd acts as a motivator for you. Yeah, and you playing the big events in front of all the fans is certainly something that's motivating, but the motivation to win a fourth Briar in 5 years is certainly enough to kind of get the juices flowing a little bit. And you guys play that montage, and I'm like, let's go! I want to be there now. It's just so it will certainly be different. Then no doubt about it. We played in enough of them with lots of fans, but I think once it gets going, and you got all these great teams going head to head again, and some rivalries renewed again. I think, and you see some familiar faces in the stands. So you got Brad's dad and Ray behind the boys there. That's certainly motivation there too.
And I wanted to ask
himself.
Sorry, Paul, go ahead.
He cloned himself there with those two boys, eh?
Absolutely. I did want to ask you guys about family, because family have been so integral in your guys' journey. Brad, we saw your mom Maureen there, who was going through a battle with cancer, and that whole story at the Olympics. They don't miss a thing. Emmett and Beckett have been such a part of your journey. Mark and Colette. What are you guys doing to prepare for life in the bubble? We know Brad's gonna, just do his masters on the side, but casually. But I understand. I think you guys just had a team meeting. Are you doing the prep right now, Brad, to talk about what this is going to look like? It's going to be a long haul. You better be mentally ready.
We've been doing the prep ever since the bubble was announced, and even before that, when we knew it was coming. But really, over the last number of weeks, we've been discussing the journey we're going to have in the bubble, because unlike a lot of teams, we're going to be in there for 8 weeks, or at least away from our family for 8 weeks. And there's the planning that needs to take place in the bubble so we can be able to perform at our best. But there's also a lot of planning at home, and my wife Krista and Colette are going to be left home with 2 kids for 8 weeks, and then 2 weeks at the end of that when we're going to have to be in quarantine. So for 10 weeks, they're going to be essentially single parents, and that's a challenge. And we certainly respect and love them for the commitment that they're making on that side of it. But for us, there is a lot of planning and trying to overcome the fact that there's no fans, and that we're essentially going to be in a room by ourselves for a long period of time. Devin, I know you know what it's been like, and we've had some conversations over the last few months, being in isolation. But that's essentially what a lot of these players have to do at the Scotties this week, and what we're going to have to deal with at the Briar.
Is there a little bit of an advantage watching the Scotties, Mark, and seeing what the ice is like? And why do I picture Jules with his binoculars on, trying to zero in on what rocks the women are playing as they're playing? But is there an advantage to kind of watching that to see how they? Because this doesn't happen every day where the Scotties and Briar are on the same ice.
No, I think it's good to see some tendencies, but I know they're going to be probably changing logos and ripping the ice up and putting stuff down again. So it could be a little bit different, but it's almost like the Scotties is a bit of a test, or feel it out. And if there's anything that needs to be changed, it's going to go through this week. And then hopefully the Briar is as good or better. And, it's great ice anyway. Jeff's getting a good opportunity to kind of hear firsthand from Laura, which certainly will, help us as well. But everyone's watching on TV. So
what a Briar field! Holy moly! Yeah. You got to repeat. You don't have to, but
Well, yeah, It's tough. Both the Scotties and the Brier, with now 18 teams and only 3 making the playoffs. That's a little bit of a scary proposition, because you could go 9 or I guess have 9 wins. You probably have 3 losses this time around, and you may not make the playoffs.
Right.
So it's going to be a tough competition. A lot of top teams. I think all the top teams are there this year. So I've said probably for the last half a dozen years, it's the toughest Brier field I've ever faced. So might as well begin this year, and I don't think I'd be wrong.
It's not getting any easier, that's for sure. Listen, how close to you are you two? Are you like brothers? I mean, I know you kind of share a business together. It's like you've curled together since you were that high. You know, how long has it been that you two have been dating like this? Curling partners.
First season together was 98.
Wow.
And then, so it's been quite a while. A little bit of a few years not playing together, and then the second time around has been just as good.
Nice.
You know, in the summertime, we don't spend as much time together. Obviously, there's some time around the business, but we do get apart. We're not attached at the hip, but we are very close. And obviously, being in business together and curling together, you know, we probably spend as much time with each other as what we do with our wives, really, when you combine it all. But the amount of time we spend during the winter, you need a bit of a break in the summer. And I think, Colleen, you would probably know that from all your years of curling. Sometimes after 6 months on the road, you need that time. And then you're excited to get back out there in the fall. And we're very much like that. But we are close. Yeah,
I was definitely married to the curling team during the curling season. Okay, can we get your picks for the women's?
Well, yeah, I was going to say if our producer Sophie could put up the standings and we can go through it, guys, if you don't mind. Who do you like, Mark and Brad? And I mean, Pool B is a tie-breaking nightmare, and you know how I feel about that. But and of course, we know you've got teammates involved in all of this situation as well. But can you tell us about what you like?
Well, I'm always good with picking the person in the lead. So go with my mixed doubles partner, and I'll pick Einerson. You know, there's lots of good teams, but because I'm playing mixed doubles with her, and because she's in the lead for sure, let's go Carrie. We'll stick to it.
Then you got to go with your Walker Crocker because of your teammate on your men's team.
Well, Jeff's going to pick Laura, so that's fine. I think we'll diversify. So Mark and obviously I think Brett has Jones, and then Mark will have his choice.
Yeah, well, it looks like I'm left with Rachel. Or I think whoever Pool A is going to have, you know, at least 2 teams in the playoffs. That if whatever happens in B, they might be fighting for that last spot right now because everyone's beating everyone.
Yeah, so it's going to be a dogfight for sure.
And here I thought it would have been Saskatchewan, Mark, considering the love connection between you and Colette and all great things going through Saskatchewan.
I'm going to leave that right there, Devin.
I'll take Sherry with my second pick. I love Sherry. She's great. So.
Yeah, 2-time world senior champion. I love that too. Anyway. So nice to have you on the show. And God, who would think Torino was that long ago?
15 years. I sent out a text to someone today that it feels like so long ago, but also it feels like it was yesterday. You know, watching some of those videos, it brings back the emotions, and I can remember what the venue looked like and where we stayed and some of the things we went through. But then so much has changed from that point to where we are now. Like, we both have 2 kids. We're both married. You know, we have businesses, all kinds of other responsibilities that when we played there, we were 25, kind of living the dream, to be honest, you know, very selfish athletes. Like, the world was really about us at that point, and things have certainly changed, but changed for the better.
Yeah. Listen, was it hard to get off the Rock to get to the Brier? What's your routing? Because I know a lot of airlines for the Atlantic provinces. You're good? You're not taking a ferry and then train and you're good, right?
No, we actually got a pretty good flight.
Okay.
So we're heading out on Tuesday morning. We go to Toronto and then Toronto to Calgary. And we're leaving early, obviously, because of potential weather issues here and the whole quarantine process and all that stuff. So we're going to get up there, make sure we get into the bubble. And and then be there for quite a while.
Yeah, Newfoundland always makes me a little nervous, Devin, because back in 1980, I was playing in the Canadian mix there, and then we were fogged in, and no planes could get in, and the ferry was stuck in the ice, and we were there in a week in a giant hotel room on cots. Ever since then, I'm like, you got to get off the rock at just the right time. I might be exaggerating, but I'm not. We were there for a week. Anyway.
Listen, before we let you go, Brad, I know this was important to you, so I want to make sure we get to it to close out the show. Curling, such an important thing back home, and I know that Mr. Ron Buckley, your first curling coach ever, died last night, 96 years old, but he was your first coach. There's a beautiful picture. Brad, we'll let you end the show with a shout out to the Buckley family because, he loved his fish and chips at the Ballyhaley, I understand.
Yeah, Ron was a staple at our curling club and was an instrumental part about getting me into competitive curling. My first year down there, obviously I picked up the game pretty quick, but Ron approached me a couple months into the season and he said, do you want to play competitive with a couple other guys? And I said, sure. And he coached us that year and really started the process of me getting into competitive curling. So without him doing that, who knows where I'd be right now and what I would have done. So, I owe a lot to him, and I do want to share my condolences with his family. And, I know he enjoyed life and he was fun to be around and, he had lots of fun over the years, but we're going to miss him. And all the best to the family.
All the best to the family, no doubt. A curling family indeed. Mark, Brad, it's awesome to see you guys. Safe travels to the bubble. Hi to the family. I'll get Colleen a mug, Mark. I know she wants one. So we'll make sure that happens.
I want the chocolate. I want the Newfoundland chocolate. A mug too. Okay.
Cheers, guys. Good luck in the bubble. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, guys. Good seeing you.
Good to see you guys.
They're so awesome.
We're winding down. We're 14 minutes away from another night of curling. Set us up and let's settle in.
Okay, can I use these graphics? Do you like these graphics?
I don't know why you ask. I told you it's your curling world. We're in it. I will say I like this chalkboard better. I can see it.
Okay, so Ontario, see if Rachel rebounds against wildcard number 2. And Zacharias has had some ups and downs, steady curler, and this is more a learning experience for her. The Northwest Territories should win easily against Yukon, so Carrie will keep this rolling. Canada and Alberta.
Big game.
That's going to be a huge game. Nova Scotia, Northern Ontario doesn't matter much. And then tomorrow, Canada and Ontario. So there's going to be so much drama. Expect lots of graphics tomorrow. It's
beautiful. Lots to come. We're gonna take you the rest of the way. We're having a bunch of fun. We hope you are too. Ode to Newfoundland, no doubt. Yeah. Hello to all of you out there. And again, hello to all the great curling fans across this country and beyond. We're back tomorrow. Buckle up for tonight. And thanks for watching as always.
See you later. Thanks, Sophie.
Thanks, Sophie.